For several years, we set up a dunking booth at the town of Chandler's annual celebration, and it was a pretty good fundraiser for our youth group because when I got in it, people loved lining up to dunk me. Something about being able to dunk a Baptist pastor in water was appealing. I remember there was this one lady, she paid $8 to play 8 times in a row, and $1 gets you 3 throws. So she had just about 25 throws, and she dunked me on several occasions. I'm still upset about that, Gail, by the way. One of the times I was taking the dunking booth back, we always borrowed it from a local church. One of the times I was taking it back, I was crossing the Lloyd, and as I was crossing the Lloyd, I heard this horrible sound that sounded like the trailer that the dunking booth was on coming loose from the truck. And I could just imagine everybody on the Lloyd dodging this dunking booth as it made its way across. I mean, a lot of people have been like, hey, that's just a typical Saturday on the Lloyd, But I looked in the mirror, and thankfully it hadn't come completely detached because it had the chains that were holding it on as a safety, so I was able to get over on the side of the road. I thought it must have come unhooked from the hitch. And I get back to the back of the truck, and the hitch is gone. And I look, it's still connected to the trailer. The trailer had pulled the hitch out of the receiver of the truck. Now, if you've ever put a hitch into the receiver of a truck, you know you got to put a linchpin in, and the linchpin had fallen out. So I look back, and there in the intersection that I just crossed was the linchpin sitting there. And I thought, I'm never going to be able to get to the center of the Lloyd to get that thing. I've got my truck that's running fine. I got this trailer that's fine, but I can't connect the two together. Would you believe that a good Samaritan stopped by and gave me the linchpin from his hitch so that I was able to get that trailer back? That was really nice of that guy, wasn't it? But that one little piece kept me from being able to make it down the road. When Peter stood up that day and preached to the people, he knew that the resurrection, the truth that Jesus had died on the cross and rose again from the dead, that it was like the linchpin of the gospel. That it took all the things that God had been doing in the Old Testament and all He was about to do in the New Testament and tied them together. That it took everything in the redemptive narrative of God's working throughout history and connected it with what He was going to do in the future. And we celebrate Easter and we make Easter to be a big deal because that's what it is. It's the linchpin that holds all of the rest of this gospel story together.